they offer me 40 hours of community service. Is that still on the table?
Okay.
If I enter like an oral motion of dismissal based on constitutional grounds, are you standing on your constitutional oath? Yeah, it says automobile, horse, drawn wagon, or carriage.
Okay,
so an automobile is not necessarily a car if it's a household good.
But
I mean, an automobile was actually created before a driver's license was ever created.
All right, guys. Today we have a crazy court hearing with a sovereign citizen, and this idiot here is out here pulling the usual sovereign citizen BS. He's in court claiming he wasn't driving, he was traveling. Like, come on, bro. We all know that's not how the law works. This dude seriously does not shut up, too. He just rambles and rambles, and he throws out random legal nonsense like it's gonna magically work. To be honest, though, the judge in this one, she's kind of soft if you ask me. I feel like she could have shut him down way harder. Let me know in the comments what you guys think about this judge here, if she was too soft or not. Let's go ahead and dive in and watch this sovereign citizen make a complete fool of himself.
You hear me?
Yes, okay. I hear you.
So you're before the court on 2019 CR 04954 for driving on a suspended or revoked license, no license, failure to display license, or failure to have license on person. I'm not sure, it cuts off, and no tag or expired or invalid tag. So that's on the first case. On the case from 2020 03114, you have a suspended or revoked license. You're represented by Lister and Holt on one of the cases, but not on the other. Did you want Lister and Holt to represent you, or did you want to represent yourself?
I'll represent myself.
On both cases?
Yes, ma'am. I have a quick question as far as law concern when it comes to driver's license.
Okay.
Okay, you're only allowed to have one driver's license, and I have an Alabama driver's license. So when I get pulled over, I actually show them my Alabama driver's license, and it's current. It's the most current, and so they make a determination if they should go off the Georgia driver's license or the Alabama driver's license. And when I present the Alabama driver's license, they let me go because my Alabama license is valid, and you're only allowed to have one. And I had Alabama license first, so
I believe this sounds like a not guilty.
Okay, so Mr. Resto, what Mr. Taylor is saying is this is something that you could prove at trial. If you present that information at trial, then that means you want to go to trial instead of taking a plea. I don't know what the recommendation is, and I don't know.
Well, the recommendation was, I think I've been dealing with this case for an awful long time now, so I don't really want to go to trial. I just want to get it behind me. But I think that I remember the recommendation quite clear. They offered me 40 hours of community service. Is that still on the table?
Okay, no, Mr. Resto, it's more than that. So let me explain.
This idiot is really out here trying to negotiate in the pre-hearing like he's at a flea market or something. I honestly don't blame the judge and prosecutor for laughing at this sovereign citizen here. It's wild that these people even exist sometimes, so I definitely don't blame them for laughing here. Like, seriously though, how did this dude even say that with a straight face? I couldn't imagine being a judge and having to deal with these clowns every day. I'd definitely be handing out contempt charges left and right. Let me know what you guys think about this prosecutor so far. I'm actually finding him to be really funny with his remarks in this one so far. Let's dive back in.
Why I know it's more than that. So the basic fines and fees for driving on a suspended license is the first time in 5 years. If you get one, then you can enter a NOLO plea if you have a NOLO plea eligible to you, and then the fine is $500. But if you get a second one, the fine goes to $1,000. A third one, the fine goes to $1,500 and 10 days mandatory jail time. You have a second one, which means that you might be able to enter a NOLO to the first one, but then the second one is outstanding. So when you took a plea to the second one, that would definitely suspend your license. So that's what's on the table.
Okay, now if I enter like an oral motion of dismissal based on constitutional grounds, are you standing on your constitutional oath?
Okay, I'm not sure what that is. So I have taken an oath to uphold the Constitution and to make sure that I treat people as the law would direct me to do so. So,
Okay. Well, I asked this question previously when I was in your courtroom one day in regards to the right to travel under the 14th Amendment, stating that citizens do not need a permit to travel with a horse-drawn carriage, wagon, or automobile without interference by police. And I was on a public highway actually when I got pulled over. The
okay, so
highway.
that's not actually in the Constitution.
And
So
I
the
don't
right to
believe
travel, the right
automobiles
to
were
travel.
allowed when the 14th Amendment was ratified.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Mr. Taylor.
I just wanted to point out to the court that automobiles hadn't been invented when the 14th Amendment was ratified. That
Yeah,
may have been a factor.
it says automobile, horse, drawn wagon, or carriage.
Okay,
So
so
an automobile is not necessarily a car if it's a household good. It's just a form of transportation. It doesn't matter if it's an automobile, horse, drawn wagon, or carriage, because it's still a form of transportation, and citizens have the right to travel without interference by police. So I don't even know how the police are even allowed to interfere with travel when I'm not using my vehicle for commerce.
Your Honor,
And it's
hold on, Mr.
totally
Taylor.
private household good.
Why isn't the judge shutting the sovereign citizen up yet? I seriously don't get it. Judges have every right to be way more firm in their courtroom. It's literally their job to keep things moving and not let people waste their time with nonsense like this stuff. Like, this is just such a waste of time. And you can even see the prosecutor basically begging the judge to wrap it up. Like, the judge here has all the control in the world, but she just refuses to use it against this idiot, and I seriously don't know why. People like this sovereign citizen here should only get a 30-second hearing at most, but instead, they literally drag it on for over 20 minutes, and that is exactly why the court system is so backed up. Is this a hot take or something? Honestly, I don't really see too many people talking about this. Like, should this judge be more firm here, or is she doing just fine? Honestly, I don't really know, but let's dive back in to see how the rest plays out.
Okay, so Mr. Resto, if somebody drove 100 miles an hour into the back of your vehicle and killed your a family member, would you want the police to interfere?
That's a murder. I mean, that's if someone got killed.
But they're traveling. You can't interfere with somebody traveling.
No, I mean you can't. It's stating that a police just can't interfere with your traveling, like pulling you over for a traffic violation or a tag.
But you
you're
want them
not,
to
you can't.
interfere if
Now,
somebody.
if you murder somebody because of
Well, okay.
sovereign.
Say you don't murder them. Say you just hurt them. Say you just damaged the vehicle. You don't want the police to interfere.
No, that because that's when it almost becomes like an accident or a crime or whatnot. So the police can. That's not really an interference. An interference with your traveling, not an interference when two citizens engage in an accident. It's interfering with you just traveling. Now, police officers, as far as public servants, they have a duty to serve to the people. So if a car accident occurs, then of course public servants, as far as ambulance, as far as firemen, they will come to the scene just as a service. But for you to just interfere in my traveling is actually a violation of the Constitution.
Well, sir, the Constitution and the cases that have come out of the constitutional jurisprudence allow cities and states and municipal organizations to regulate travel for the benefit of the citizens. So they can put reasonable regulations on travel, meaning you can have a license. They can grant you the privilege of having a license to drive. They can regulate how your license is seen. If you don't have a license, or if your license is suspended, they can intervene to take your license away or your privilege to drive away. It is a crime. You can be convicted of not driving under a proper license. So the government is allowed to intervene in a lot of ways with people traveling. So I'm not sure where this information comes from, but there's a lot of stuff on the internet about traveling and the 14th Amendment and horse and buggies and even maritime law. But
I mean,
an
automobile was actually created before a driver's license was ever created.
This sovereign citizen seriously just said that automobiles were created before driver's license. So that just means driver's license aren't constitutional? Are you kidding me? First off, just because something was invented before a law was passed, doesn't mean that law doesn't apply. That's literally like saying you don't have to pay taxes because the IRS didn't exist when the first person made money. The fact is, driver's licenses are totally constitutional. They're a requirement to ensure that people know the rules of the road and can operate a vehicle safely. It's really not that hard to understand. And it's not very expensive to get one either. It's literally all about public safety and order. And the idea that you can just ignore a law because it wasn't there when something was invented is pure nonsense. Like, is this guy mentally ill or something? I seriously can't tell.
So people was actually operating their case pamphlets where people was actually operating vehicles before a driver's license ever became. That's actually, you guys are actually a conflict of interest, actually, as far as you being in cahoots with the DMV. That's a totally separate entity.
Okay,
And for
so
some reason,
Mr. Resto, do you want to resolve the case? Because it's
I
not going
want
to
to
be
resolve the
40
case.
hours
I
of,
disagree with the fine amount because it changed. I would
It-
pay I would make an offer like I can do $1,000, maybe 12-month probation. But
Mr. Resto,
$2,000, that's excessive.
Mr. Resto, we're not negotiating. Those are statutory fines, meaning they're written into the law. I can't even change them.
Can I make a counter offer to the state and say it's $1,000? That can I be?
No,
Because I did do
sir.
time in jail. If the state would see that
Well,
and count,
That's why I'm saying that you may want to speak with an attorney because certain things that they can negotiate, I can't change the statute. I can't change what's written in it, but they can negotiate. And if the solicitor wants to give you credit for time in jail in lieu of the fine, those are things that they can do that I can't do.
yeah. So I would ask to the district attorney, knowing that I did serve some days in jail, can you guys
Okay.
lower the fine and I just go ahead and end this
So,
case right now? I can do 1,000. I got $1,000 right now.
Mr.
And
Mr.
Huh?
Resto, so that's a conversation that you need to have with them directly without me being present, number one. Number two, the reason I keep saying you might want to go through your attorney is because they can explain to you what is already on the table and how that may or may not change, okay?
what's on the table now, man?
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I would rather you have that conversation in a breakout room with the attorney who's assigned to your case and with the state as opposed to here in the main room. One, because I have other cases that need to be addressed, and two, because that's not information I need to hear.
Okay, is it anything I can do to get this case resolved now? Because it's been lingering on.
I'm telling you what to do,
for
but you're
years.
not listening, Mr. Reston. Mr.
I mean,
Resto,
today, like I want to resolve this today.
I get that you want to resolve it today, and I'm telling you what to do, but you're not listening to me. I said you can go into a breakout room with your attorney, and the attorney and you can discuss what's already on the table. And then if your attorney wishes to speak with the state to clarify anything, they can do that too. But you're not going to get it resolved by going back and forth with me because there's stuff I cannot do.
Okay, just tell the state that I'll take their recommendation. I'll just pay the $2,000 if they can give me 12 months to pay it off. And
Okay,
if I pay
sir,
it off early, if my probation can be terminated, that would be great.
And that's the last we heard from that guy for the day. This sovereign citizen literally just up and left the hearing after this. I'm pretty sure the judge also issued this idiot a bench warrant after him just leaving like that. But don't worry, guys. I've got the second appearance for this guy that I'll be posting tomorrow. So stay tuned for that. But let's just be real. This guy here was a classic case of a sovereign citizen trying to sneak their way out of paying a small fine of $2,000. Like, dude, it's not like the court's just gonna forget about the fine because you say you're traveling and not driving. I don't even feel like ranting because this guy just completely took my brain cells. Let me know in the comments what you guys thought about this court hearing. The main question I have for you guys, and I'm genuinely curious, do you guys think the judge is too soft? Because I honestly do, and I want to know if that's a hot take or not. And also, if you guys enjoy this kind of reactions and want to see more, make sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss the next one. I really appreciate your guys' support. And let me know in the comments if you guys have any recommendations for any other hearings. Thank you guys so much for watching. Take care, everyone.